After the most serious consideration, I have decided not to be a candidate for governor of Oklahoma in 1958. I believe that during the next 2 years I can best serve the people of my district and my state on the floor of the state Senate. I wish to express my deep appreciation to the many people throughout Oklahoma who have encouraged me to become a candidate. These citizens have expressed to me a deep desire for a genuine and dynamic change in Oklahoma government. The people of the state are determined as never before to have integrity in their state government and to wipe out waste and corruption. I believe our fight in Wagner County 2 years ago was important in bringing this sentiment to the surface and helped to convince Oklahomans that where the people will fight, dishonesty and corruption can be defeated. I am personally acquainted with all of the announced Democratic candidates for governor and know their records and backgrounds. I believe that among them is a man who possesses the energy and qualities of leadership to turn the people's desire for reform into a reality. He is J. Howard Edmondson.
What's the big news today?
Well, the subcommittee approved the plans for drawing a voluntary trust for the Oklahoma City Redevelopment Authority.
Just what's that?
Well, this is an instrument with which we hope to raise some money and do some redevelopment in the downtown area.
How will you be organized on this?
This will follow the pattern of the CAA trust. It is a voluntary proposition. The Oklahoma City will be the beneficiary of any results. It will be managed by a board of directors representing both public and private interest. Well, we hope to improve the downtown parking. We hope to attract entertainment and merchandising back into the area, and we want to give a very strong emphasis to downtown housing. We believe there's a demand for at least 5,000 units of downtown housing. A major part of this effort will be to improve storefronts and general conditions in the downtown area. We're also considering, under the management of Mr. Martin, air conditioning in some of the downtown streets. Sidewalks. Sidewalks.
You're going to air condition the sidewalks?
Yes, sir. Hope so.
We feel the future industrial growth of central Oklahoma has never been better, and that great opportunities exist for us in the future. On this premise, and on the faith that we have in this area, we are announcing today a new and expanded industrial development program for central Oklahoma. This program contemplates the tying together of an area in central Oklahoma, presenting its resources, its facilities, its abilities and know-how to industry nationally. We are calling this program Metro Oklahoma, the Central Industrial Development Area for Oklahoma. And here is the area that we are concentrating on. An area around Oklahoma City, varying in distance, some as far as 50 miles away, some areas as far as 30 miles away. This is the area we call Metro Oklahoma. We believe through this program that we will accelerate the settlement of industry and the growth of industry as all of the communities in the area cooperate on this expanded industrial development program. And we'll be telling you more about it as time goes on.
Well, the President's new actions, as he announced this morning, results in about a 15% cut east of the Rocky Mountain area on crude oil imports. This, we feel, is totally inadequate. It amounts to about 58,000 barrels a day, which reduces our imports east of the Rocky Mountains area to about 715,000 barrels per day. Oklahoma's share of that increased market will be very small, and it will make very little difference in our daily market. The President has said nothing about products, that is the importation of products, which makes every bit as much difference to us as do the imports of a barrel of crude oil. We feel that the program as announced by the President should be mandatory. And this bears out our questions to Congress when we have asked them to make this program mandatory and not voluntary, as the President has continued to do over the past years, 2 years, and the past few months.
Mr. Jeanette, why do you feel voluntary control will not work?
Voluntary controls are very ambiguous. Voluntary controls, as set up by the President and the President's administration, can change from day to day. Under a voluntary program, that can change, and that can change our allowable in the state of Oklahoma and Texas and our sister states. We don't know from day to day how much oil we can produce. We must have a mandatory program to limit imports into this country so that we know what the domestic demand will be.
You've mentioned that the loss may run higher than $12 million. What will it amount to?
That's difficult to say. The loss is admittedly $12 million by book value. Now that merely means that by taking their own books and records, the auditors found that they were $12 million short. On those books, certain items were carried as being of such a certain value. Now, we're trying to determine whether those items actually exist, and if they do, what their true value is at this time. I know from some of the things that have already been investigated that the book values were higher than they should have been, and some things carried as assets were actually liabilities.
Hugh Carroll yesterday in his reorganization plans which he submitted to the court practically intimated that you, sir, are not doing quite as good a job as he did while he was here. Do you have an answer to that?
Well, by his own plan for reorganization, which all I know about it is what I've read in the papers to this time, but he admits to a loss at least $12 million, and actually it figures out higher than that on his own percentages. I don't believe that we're losing money that fast down here, and in fact, with Mr. Harrison supervising the banking aspects of the business and with the investigation we're making into the other corporations, I don't believe we're going to lose any money. In fact, I believe we'll have this business on a paying basis, on the basis of the businesses that we allow to continue to operate. As far as reorganization is concerned, I don't believe that Mr. Carroll or anyone else is in a position to discuss reorganization at this time, because we do not know what we have to reorganize. And as I've mentioned before, the Securities and Exchange Commission of the federal government is here, and they are going to go into the problem of reorganization too, and any plan that is offered must be approved by them.
Well, sir, you've mentioned that
In my opinion, there's just nothing to it. I have had no evidence from any member of the council of trying to mess into the affairs of the politics or the appointment or the promotion or what have you in the fire department.
I don't feel that is quite right. I don't think it's true. I think there has been interference, been molestation, and I think that you as city manager should make a very thorough investigation of this matter. Possibly you have. But I've been around here long enough to know that the signs that I see, that I hear, indicate that we have a serious situation involved. And you as city manager should be held absolutely responsible that does not happen.
As I'm concerned, I accept that responsibility, and I think in fairness to the statement made that I could ask you, just as publicly as you have suggested to me, for one single solitary proof.
There was fewer firemen at the dinner from Oklahoma City than was outside of Oklahoma City.
Well, now,
and one fireman even told me, now if you've got this, one fireman said I didn't stand up when they asked him to stand up because I was scared somebody was watching.